Okay. Let's go back here, turn this on. Hopefully people can hear the music. Having some tech difficulties. Let's see. All right, tech difficulties. Over here. All right. Let me know if you can hear the music, if you don't mind. A lot going on. We're not in Kansas anymore. Man, there's a lot going on. What's happening? Higher vibrations in the house. Lunar eclipse, she's right. Okay, the music, thank you. Tony Coda, Susan Worthington. Let's see, Facebook. That was YouTube. Sari Keenan, Raven Sirius. Sita Debbie, Kylie Walter, Maggie Shannon. Thank you for letting me know you could hear the music. You know, for a long time, I've been doing this. Jumping on with people and jumping on by myself. Yeah, it is windy today in Houston. Tom Gilligan, what's happening? Yeah. And for the last, 1, 2, 3 months, basically, I haven't been on, I don't know, maybe 25 times, maybe. Used to do that in a week. But, you know, I just wanted to jump on because I was, you know, doing stuff around the house and taking care of Sology business and, you know, just trying to get acclimated with this new energy and create and be of service and do the right thing and keep growing like all of us, like all of you. And so my soul said, go live, just go live. And I thought, about what? And I think everybody knows that there's a bunch of solar flares occurring, a big geostorm. I don't understand all that stuff, but you can feel it. I've had 5 nights in a row where I've slept, I would say, an average of 10 hours. And I wake up every morning and I feel like I've just run a marathon, like I'm just depleted. And this morning, I had about 30 minutes of, I guess you would call it vertigo. I've had vertigo, you know, it didn't quite feel that way, but it was a dizziness. And to me, it feels like that it's going to keep going. And I also feel like that we have what it takes to keep going. That's why we showed up. So I think I labeled this Reflections of the Solar Flares, Geostorms, and Our Coming Out Party. Nobody has any idea of what this is going to look like. I think all of our guides and all of our teams over the years have told us what's going to happen, what will happen, what's coming is going to be mind-blowing to us. And I feel like that, you know, part of what's coming back to us is obviously a deeper understanding of who we are, and what we're a part of, and why we're here. And what are we doing here? And you can feel the other side. You can feel through it all. You can feel the atmosphere changing and the opportunity for growth, going into a whole new cycle, a whole new way. Some people call it a new age, whatever. But you can feel it. It feels biblical, beyond biblical. Yeah, so V's in the house, Riva Ray, Paula Van de Berk. Um, she says there's a lunar eclipse tonight slash tomorrow. Yeah, I think a lot of people forgot about that one. I did. And then I started reading a couple of days ago that, there were two of them. So we're going to be going through this eclipse corridor. Cedar Debbie says it feels like stepping on mind bombs. Yeah, I'm going through a lot of purging in my body. Um, I know everyone's going through different things. We seem to be drilling down to our own physical presence, our own field of energy. The only piece of real estate we own in the universe is ourselves. But there's so many things involved with it. The humility that comes with it. Um, those moments of realizing you don't know anything. Those moments of, realizing that we're simply being. We're being. We've always been being. We're becoming more conscious, more aware of how the mechanics of things have been working and really how the universal field works. And we're doing it in physical form, which is a great thing, I believe, Um, it's unique, I think, to the universe. And I think part of what we're coming into is realizing that we're not the smallest thing out there. In fact, we're the biggest in this moment. We're converting from the furthest end of universal polarity in a dense physical environment, bringing in the multidimensionality, bringing in the light body, merging it all, not leaving the human behind. You know, the human is being left behind, I guess, but a different human's coming with us and it's going to sit at the round table of our monad as an equal citizen, as an equal aspect. That's how I feel. There's purpose to the experience, the experiment, these many, 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 many incarnations we've had as human beings. There's purpose to it. I think there's great purpose to it. Yeah, I was talking to Morgan this morning, and we were just talking about stuff. We talk about this all the time. We all do, right? And I was saying, someone in the last few days we ran across, I don't know, through our conversations that we were having privately or, sometimes she'll read posts to me and, or I'll talk about a post I saw or whatever the case is. But this one was talking about, and I don't know who wrote it. I don't know who to give it credit to, but I mean, none of this is owned by any of us. We're all conduits and we're just sharing what's coming in. It's all one voice, right? But yeah, it was about what's happening in dream state. I've had a pretty good sensitivity to my dream state, for, the last 10 plus years. And sometimes when you come out of dream state, you don't really have, like, you can't remember all your dreams and that type of thing, but you can always remember the energy. You feel the energy, it leaves you in a certain way. And sometimes it feels like you wake up, kind of suddenly and you're discombobulated, like you just got thrown back into your body and you've been out there flying around and doing whatever and you get thrown back into your body and you're like human, like in a millisecond, and you're just trying to, like, get your stuff together. Well, the last 5 nights have been like that for me, like I was saying earlier. And waking up has been getting harder and harder to do. But my sense of what's gone on in dream state has been massive clearing. And I say this from a collective perspective, both as an experiencer and an observer in these dreams that I'm referring to, or in this time I'm referring to when we're in dream state of these last 5 nights. And it's been, uh, you know, it's come into my awareness that we're working like bees, like ants, like all together. There's more every night. There's more collaboration. There's less agenda. There's more clearness. There's more lightness of being. There's more, rainbow colors. I mean, it's that's how I feel, and I can feel the energy. I can't recall the things that happened the last 5 nights, but I can recall the energy. And when I walk through the day in a haze, trying to get back to work and do the things that my soul, wants me to do, there's this slow kind of permeation of of understanding or awareness of energy coming in. You could say it's the soul, I think, is really what it is at the end of the day. That's saying, hey, you know what? The universe is never late, it's always on time. Uh, the pace is changing. Um, it feels like it's moving slower, but time's moving faster. I mean, there's all these different things coming in. Everybody's getting all different kinds of intel. I'm just trying to share as I've been guided to today. But yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of humble pie being served, you know, in our own little dialogue with the universe, whether we discuss it with other people or not, realizing, it's weird, realizing the insignificance of things, but yet the profound nature of the same thing. This paradox has taken on all new meaning. It's pretty wild. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and acknowledge, we're not crazy. That there's a bunch of activity coming in. You can call it photonic light, solar flares, geostorms, unity, universal energy, whatever you want to call it. But you can feel it ramping up, and I'm just my feeling is whatever it is, bring it on. Whatever it is, bring it on. Whether it be some kind of natural, unnatural phenomena, whatever the case is, or whether it be my own shadows and unconscious programming that hasn't been released yet. And I believe we've done a hell of a job, all of us have, and that's part of the reason that all of this is accelerating. This whole experience is accelerating right now, and it feels to me like a very personal thing. I mean, obviously I'm in a relationship, have been in one for a long time. I live with my mom as well. I don't really haven't talked to anyone for the last 90 days. And I feel like this is kind of where we're being put. We're being put in this place of being present with ourselves, and then, really being able to expand on that when we interact with other people. Presence is not something that I'm finding that you have to think about. It's just this place. It's like this flow. It's like this rhythm. It's like this weird place because it's not been this way in this world. The world's been rush, rush, and you know deadlines and clocks and schedules, and we're creating. We've created something. We've created it. We're creating it, and it's got many, many different aspects, and they all look different than where we came from. And one of those things is the pace of our day, the pace of our life. I feel like that, what's happening here is bigger than us, and we're all being put into more and more and more greater awareness, presence of ourselves. And that's really going to be the great gift that we share with each other and that we do share with each other when we can be present with ourselves and then be with someone else, messaging or on camera or on the phone or whatever the case is, or in person, and sharing that presence and just feeling the nature of life, our natural nature. So many things I see out there on social media, um, uh, that don't resonate anymore. um, it's like everything I see out there that has any type of competition, superiority, right or wrong, it's just lost its narrative. And I'm including every one of the narratives that got us here, including the Anunnaki thing, including the 13 families, including, whatever the other ones are, I mean, I look at it now, people use the term fear porn. I think that's kind of harsh. I mean, I think we got to, you know, kind of like look at things and say, hey, I can respect the person putting it out or calling it this or calling it that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that, um, these things that got us here, um, that were part of our previous experience, no matter how hard it might be to face, uh, most of that's not coming with us. It's just it was the experience, it was the story, and now we're in this place that really operates off of not what you've done, but what you're doing. And I was thinking about this, getting back into Sology, and I just want to say this. I wish I could say this to every single person that has ever been a part of Sology or has a relationship with Sology. Um, I mean, and I'm not in victim consciousness. I'm just saying I busted my ass for, 12, 13 years straight every day. Never really took off more than a day or two, 3 days, maybe one time last year or 2 years ago. And I hit a wall, and so I started this in this time in this 90 days. I started to think about value, and and I saw a lot of things in the field. I saw uh, people have always sent comments, I mean messages, and made comments and emails, and talk about how Sology is a place where they found other people like them, where they could listen every night when they were going through major stuff. I mean, I've heard so many beautiful stories. I also saw the value, or say devalue, where programs and that type of thing stood in the way, of what I was observing in terms of, like, say, a collaborative or equal energy exchange type of situation. So I had, really had to think about a lot of things. We started out just doing strictly contributions. We did that for 6 years, 7 years, I don't know. And we're very thankful for it. It worked very well. Uh, and it seemed like a nice energetic flow. And then we started subscription last year because I was told to. I was told on March the 1st, social media is going down. You got to go set the pace here. And it was a tough first year. But what I would like to say to everybody is that there's nothing I want more than to be on this, on the network, broadcasting, supporting other people to broadcast. Um, and we haven't found a fluid way to do it yet. We've got the basics set up, and we are in motion to do this. We've got some people helping us, Ashley Lee and Victoria Rolfe. And there's some other players coming in too. But I tried to do everything myself, and I couldn't. Um, and I don't want to apologize for not being on for the last 90 days. I had to do it for my own spiritual health. Um, and I had to be alone. And it was a pretty difficult thing, doing a lot of different things, and, just a lot of changes. And we're all dealing with everything. I'm no different than anyone else. But I just want people to know that I'm not trying to shortchange anybody. And the greatest contribution I can make to myself, I mean, to the collective, to you, is to take care of myself. And so I had to do this. And so I've watched a lot of energies in response to my inactivity, and I understand them all. And I just say hopo ponono to each and everybody. And I want to get this thing rolling again, and that's what I'm doing. But I'm doing it at this new pace. I don't know if that means 80 shows a month like we used to be doing, or if it means 40. Um, I just want to keep it going, And I think part of the uh, value of Sology for me, and I think for many people, has been, it's kind of a real time scenario, right? Like the shows we talk about what's happening right this moment. We have collaborations in music that are just spur of the moment, and open mics that are spur of the moment. And I really feel like that's an integral part, if not a absolute part of the way we create from here out, is very spontaneous, not based on who we were and this and that, but showing up and just sharing ourselves in that moment. Um, and I got off track there. Um, but that's what I was going to say, is that this new earth that we're walking on, because we are, has a different pace. And I believe we're all adjusting to that. And it's pretty cool, really. People are, from my point of view, people are arguing less. There's less projection. I mean, it can't just be happening here, and people could be saying, "Oh yeah, but there's this war and that war and this and that." Yeah, but don't forget this is a Truman Show. Okay, don't forget that. All about our attention, our focus, our consciousness, and we have regained that, and we are going to combine the experience of having not knowing that and reflecting on everything we've been through and all this code that we've established and created through the journeys of the human experience and all those things associated with it, because it goes much further than just this lifetime or even the human lifetimes on the earth, because there's obviously humans all over the galaxy, solar system, etc. We don't even know how far it goes. But anyway, I yeah, I want to be on here. Yeah, I'm just sharing this with you. Um, and I'm about to schedule some shows now. And I'm just trying to get a feel for the new pace. Uh, it feels like that, to finish my thought, that Sology kind of parallels, real time information to what's happening. Often I say, as the individual goes, so goes the collective. So, what I'm experiencing, some way you are, and collectively you can see it. And I think that there was a necessary deconstruction. Uh, that was not a conscious thing. This was the third energy or the universal energy, the solar energy, kind of like, spreading flexing its wings, you know. Uh, the third energy is real now. This is one of the great rewards and one of really the biggest difference that we're having from where we came from and where we are now. But I think part of what I've experienced and what you've observed with Sology over the last 3 months, has been this winter, this long, cold, dark winter. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in a great way, because we can all look back at our dark nights of the soul now and see the great value that it had and the catalyst that it is and was, and the very reason for our expansion. And so that's what it's been like for 90 days. And, I've done a lot of thinking, and I'm sure a lot of you have too. I just want to live with integrity. I want to shine my soul. I want to collaborate and co create with other people. I want to see other people shine their soul. I want to rip the band-aids off and let's see what we all have planned here and how we're all gonna what we're all gonna experience. I mean, in no rush. I mean, because this is really has got to be as good a gold or better than where we end up, because we know where we end up because we're total perfection. But it's the journey along the way, and this mutualistic experience that we're having, where we're understanding who we are, what we're a part of, and what we're doing here. Um, there's only one voice, as Morgan Lee says. There's only one voice, and there's also only one timeline, if you want to put it that way. We got nothing to lose. We're like those trapeze artists that are way up in the, 1,000 feet above the ground, that are, that fall off and fall into a net. We're always going to fall into the hands of Mother Universe. That's all there is to it. Um, and It's interesting. It's interesting to see things lightening up in the field, and people getting along more, and people not holding grudges, and people really exemplifying unconditional love. And these things that are happening to us, I know that we're here in these communities, and we talk about all these different topics. It's moving so fast now. I don't think we can even explain what's happening. Like what we got yesterday, by the time we want to go explain it, today's already happening. And we're getting these massive, activations, downloads, etc. I think another thing that we're learning too is our feeling even different about our triggers. Triggers aren't doing what they used to do. Um, they might still sting a little bit, but we're looking at them from a perspective of saying, hey, there's another side to this, and it's going to come pretty quick. And, that's what's been happening. So, yeah, well, anyway, I'm going to schedule some shows. I'm going to do my best to get back to work. I am going to be contacting everybody that has been in collaboration with Sology Network since we went into our own site last March 10th, and either me or some people that are helping us. Part of what we're all getting into, I believe, is this natural progression, this way of life that unfolds, that we don't um, interfere with its flow. The universe has always flowed and can flow potentially in perfect, like a torus field. And obviously we set up this divine plan here, to create massive distortion and darkness so we could learn from the deepest parts of that and expand to the highest parts of it, which wouldn't be possible unless we had created a situation. Um, but there's a natural unfoldment. I think synchronicities have been getting bigger and bigger, and you're really almost mind blowing to me. I call them physical synchronicities. Just phone calls, recommendations, just different things where they fall in line and you know it's supposed to happen. It keeps you out of the far future and keeps you present. But yeah, I just feel like that we have to allow this to unfold. So, it's, you know, become less of we're going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to do this. And I mean this not just about Sology, I mean this about life, and really allow things to unfold that we have by our pure intentions and by our work, because it's been work cleaning up house, right? Um, but, based on our energetic force, we know that we have already created this throughout the energetic fields. And being that we're in the most dense physical matter place, this is the last place that it happens, you could say. We're like the tail end of the echo. But we have, when you look at the experience in its entirety, and I'm talking from a multidimensional view, considering all of our aspects, the human being, you and me, and all those that have walked with us, um, have something to offer that multidimensionality that none of the other aspects do. Now, that doesn't make us the coolest kid on the block, but it does point to the fact that we are on center stage. We really are. We're not just doing this for ourselves. We're doing this for the collective, and the collective is all that is. Um, and getting away from like causes and movements and different things that we have a great veracity and ferocity about political stuff. I can't believe I get on these news feeds and I see people damning Trump, or not that I'm pro Trump or anti Trump. It's not that. It's just that we're light workers, we're star seeds, we're multidimensional beings that supposedly understand and are committed to operating in neutrality. And neutrality is not even the right word, because neutrality sounds like a stagnation. It sounds like a place where there's no movement. No, that center of the torus that we can carry when we consciously make this more and more a way of life, where we don't make excuses and we don't lie and we don't put anything external out there in terms of where we send our energy because we blame that person or we love that person in the old way or whatever the case is. That center point of the torus field is pure creation. That's the point of the spark of life. That's the orgasm. That's not the orgasm. That would be more like the birth, right? Like the point. Well, I guess it could be the orgasm. But yeah, uh, I'm not damning anyone. I mean, I still working on myself. Sure, I have prejudices and biases that are unconscious to me, but there's certain things out there. Uh-oh, what happened? There's certain things out there that pretty obvious, right? It's pretty obvious. I mean, I think we're past the point where we need to fear governments, fear religious institutions, fear narratives, fear NASA, fear the Anunnaki, fear anything. I don't fear anything. I am a soul. And I know there's a lot of people here that feel the same way. And it's important to feel that. And the reason it's important, it's not right or wrong or you need to do this or have to. I'm saying it's important, it's significant because it drives the universal equation that we might call the Trinity. Our belief drives it all. Our belief in who we are, what we are, what we're a part of, not because some fortune teller told us, not because of anything other than all the things that we've been presented in our lives to get us to one point, which is to finally choose us, to pick us. You know, this is why platforms are being deconstructed and reconstructed, because nothing from the old can go with us. Um, and what goes with us is literally a field of equality where there are no leaders. We are all the leaders, and we are all the followers, if you want to put it that way. So I think this is, what you've seen happen at Solgy in the last 90 days. What's happened to me, it's probably happened to you. I think it's happening to everybody. I think we're all being deconstructed. I think we've all learned a hell of a lot, particularly, particularly in the last 3 or 4 months. It's been full blown. And in the individual, uh, experiences that we have, situations, in our lives personally, and things that we might do together, like say when we had the Solgy Fest, and there's, a group of people, could be a group online, it could be, groups that meet weekly. Um, there's something to be said for what we're sharing, feeling, and experiencing at the ground level, that you can see the connection and the immediate reflection in the external. What I mean by that is that we're getting results at a local level, and yes, that can include the virtual, part of it, the internet. But we're driving this thing from a local level. We're driving this thing when we break bread with each other. We're driving this thing when we hope no with each other. We're driving this thing when we, come together, and regardless of when will we see each other again, or when will we work with each other again, or whatever the case is, when will we have dinner again, whatever the case is. But upon each separation, if you will, it's in balance. And if you look at a torus field, right, it's going like that, and we're coming together, we're never apart, and it's a balance to it. And this is kind of what I believe is our natural nature. This is our motor. This is the way we operate. Um, and it's getting clearer and clearer. And like I was saying earlier, I'm seeing less arguing. Even in some situations I've been observer or a part of in these 3 or 4 months I'm talking about, I've seen what used to be viewed as volatile situations or critical situations, and all parties involved get to the other side of it real quick. And that's pretty damn impressive. And I know you guys can relate to that because I've seen a lot of people talking about it. All right, man. We got 56 people in the YouTube. We got another 50 something over here on Facebook. This is cool, man. This is like old times, right? I hope to be doing more and more of this. In fact, I don't like that word. As much as the universe will allow me to, right? I mean, so many people I've heard them say, I want to do this and I want to do that, you know, but I can't. I'm not being allowed to. Um, I'm not being allowed to get to work. I'm not being allowed to make this meeting. I'm not being allowed to go to this session or whatever the case is. So yeah, that's where I go with this third energy, and we could call the third energy golden child energy or the Holy Spirit. Um, you know, to me, it's like, we are that, and the external and the internal are coming to their highest potential, right? Because well, of the work we've done, the third energy is really, it's out there. It's making its influence known. I mean, it's happening, and inside of us, we're basically doing the same thing. I think a big part of it is giving ourselves credit. Not to say that we're ascended and we're walking on water, but to say, you know what, we've done a hell of a lot of work. And if you think about it energetically, it has we have to be able to see that in the flesh, and we're seeing that. People are having, what we used to call miraculous healings. I mean, instant healings. I mean, I'm going through a lot of stuff that's pretty wild. I mean, and I think people can relate to this. It's not just the healing that's happening, or let me say this: part of the healing is the purging. Like I know several people that have in one way or the other discharged things from their body that were just you know didn't make any sense. There's a lot of stuff that's in that physical form clotted up that's being pushed out. You know, People talk about the mucus coming from the eyes, the ears, other parts of the body that I won't get into. I mean, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So you have that part of it going on, which can be kind of intense. And for some people, it might be mental or emotional or disengaging patterns of behavior once the program's already been removed. Other people, it could be an emotional thing, or I don't know. But at the same time, there's solid evidence within the body that it's transforming. We are blowing through the DNA transformational process now. So back, just to bring it back to where I was, we need, I don't say need and have, they always bug me. I don't, but give ourselves some credit. We're multidimensional beings. We're multi-dimensional beings that are aware of their multidimensionality, that are aware that there's a process by their own force of nature and consciousness that's occurring, and there's a direct relationship to the way we live our lives, and the level and pace and etc. that it comes in. This world scared us all in many different ways throughout all these lifetimes, but that's over now. So bring the comet, bring the geostorms, bring the earth, bring whatever. It's all us. We're not going anywhere. How do we know that the whole earth isn't going to catch on fire by the old perspective, and we're in such form that we just walk right through it? I mean, I don't know. For me, the idea or the understanding is, what is there to fear? There is nothing to fear. There are things that I need to look at that make me uncomfortable, or this or that, but to fear anything, and I don't mean to get cocky about it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about with a deep humility, like living in sacredness and reverence for life and honor for my brothers and sisters and myself and the very fact that we're even here. Yeah. So, like I said, a lot of the stuff I see out there, I don't spend much time on social media. I see more and more people talking about that, which is all the more reason to get back to this dream of the Soulogy network, where everyone can come together and communicate the way we, with easy access, and just, and it's all going to happen for all of us. But some of the stuff I see on there, it'll you, and I know some people are waking up and just start to really understand how, truth is stranger than fiction, and some of the bullshit that's going on or whatever. But yeah, I can't really look at stuff, certain things. I can't look at things where there's like, oh, the dark forces are here, and stuff like that. I mean, we are the middle road. We are the soul highway. We are the center of that energetic loop of the Taurus field. We're both sides of it. That's our masculine, that's our feminine. And then we come together with somebody else and it quadruples, and then it just keeps going. It's a good feeling. I mean, to know that this is really going down and that we're actually conscious of it, and we're coming, we're showing up more every day, and coming when we show up, which is every day, we're coming with more purity, more pure intention, more unconditional love, and we're saying to the rest of it, fuck that shit. I'm tired of these narratives. I'm tired of all that stuff. I'm tired of beating a dead horse. I mean, I get it. People are hurting, this and that. This is all, it's the same for all of us, every one of us. Nobody gets out of it. Nobody. You know what I mean? And it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be an ancestor and a descendant of Atlantis, of Lemuria, of Avalon, of the indigenous cultures, and of all the ones that we don't even remember. You know, what a game we designed. What a game. Well, okay. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just going to make it up as I go. Got to take care of some Sology business, like admin stuff. Like I said, people are starting to help now. Um, all I know is it's for me, I look at Sology and I look at Todd and I look at Todd and Morgan and I look at the world, all of us, and you know they talk about the drop in the ocean is the ocean. I feel like we're all in the middle of the ocean and we're swimming our asses off, um, in a good way. You know, not like oh my God we're gonna die. No, just that's all you can do. You know, just start swimming, start walking. You know, start climbing, start whatever. Um, just one step at a time. Everything's been or being deconstructed. Um, we align with this more and more, and it becomes a more fluid, seamless, symmetrical experience. But we still have the little fluctuations, like the heart monitor. You know, it goes like that sometimes. Um, but yeah, let's go easy on ourselves and go easy on each other. And I'll see you guys probably today or tonight in the next 3 or 4 hours. Big shout out to Shannon McMillan Thompson and my boy Yeti. It's good to see you. Take care. Peace out.